Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to look at another classic Chinese recipe. I got a bunch of eggs here and a box of loose tea. If you guess it, it's Chinese tea eggs. Now, tea eggs are common throughout the Asian community, and there's variations from the Japanese and the Taiwanese variations, and there's even a Persian tea egg recipe that uses onion, which is quite unique. But for today's video, I'm going to show you how to consistently make tea eggs with any of these recipes. And if you guessed it, the magic tool is an Instant Pot. It's a great tool. I showcased it in one of my earlier videos. And now Chinese tea eggs can be made with loose tea, black tea leaves, and it's been traditionally made with Pu Erh Tea. Now, if you haven't heard Pu Erh Tea, it contains antioxidants and other substances that may help protect the heart and blood vessels. And unlike other teas, Pu Erh Tea contains small chemical called lovastatin that's beneficial for lowering cholesterol. So alright, let's hop into it. Let me show you how to make Chinese tea eggs. Now, if you don't know already, the Instant Pot is a great tool for making hard-boiled eggs, which makes this a really good tool for making Chinese tea eggs. Now, the trick to it is just getting the exact timing down. The way that I like to do it is 5-5-5. Just remember that, 5-5-5. 5 minutes for pressure cooking, 5 minutes of natural release, and 5 minutes in cool water. So basically what you do, get a dozen eggs ready, open your Instant Pot, transfer all your eggs in your container. Some people like to use the truvette, but I just like to just put the eggs straight in. Once you put all your eggs inside the container, add about 1 cup of water. Cover it up. Basically, you want to set it to manual for 5 minutes and let it rip. So alright, after cooking for 5 minutes in the pressure cooker, we're going to let it sit in the pressure cooker for another 5 minutes. Alright, after 5 minutes elapsed, we're going to let the steam naturally release. While it's releasing this pressure, go ahead and grab yourself a bowl, a couple of ice, and lots of water. What we're going to do is dump all the eggs into the water and let it cool down for another 5 minutes. Alright, while the eggs are cooling down, let's look at the tea brew. To this, we're going to add 2 slices of ginger, 4 Star Anise, 1 stick of cinnamon stick, about 2 bay leaves, about a teaspoon of Sichuan Peppercorn, a teaspoon of rock sugar. Now, if you don't have rock sugar, you can use regular sugar for this. 2 teaspoons of salt, about 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine, 3 tablespoons of light soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, now you also need about around 4 to 7 cups of water. And the last thing you need is about 2 tablespoons of tea leaves. Now these are Pu Erh tea leaves, and they might be hard to find. So if you don't have Pu Erh tea leaves on hand, please feel free to substitute black tea leaves. Now if you're going to use black tea leaves, especially from the bags, you need about 4 of those to get the same concentration, roughly. Alright, let's head to the stove and let's start cooking them. So alright, I'm going to basically heat the tea brew until it reaches boiling temperature. And once it reaches boiling temperature, we're going to let it boil for another 10 minutes. And after the 10 minutes, we're going to basically let it cool down to room temperature. Alright, while the tea is brewing, let's go ahead and crack these eggs. Now, we're not peeling the eggshell off, we're just merely giving it a nice even crack throughout. Now, basically, I like to use a spoon and just give it a nice tap throughout the egg, give it a nice even crack. And you just basically repeat this process for the rest of the eggs. So alright, our eggs are soaking in our tea bath, and it's recommended that you have it soaked for at least 24 hours. That gives an adequate amount of time for the tea brew to seep across through the cracks and give the eggs a nice marbly texture. Now, there are some recipes that recommend that you soak it for a longer period of time or give a better taste for the tea egg. Well, for today's test, I'm going to see whether if that's true or not. So for today's test, I'm going to pull out an egg after 24 hours, 48 hours, and 72 hours and see whether there's a big difference between the 24 hours and the 72 hours. So after soaking the tea eggs for over 72 hours, you can notice if a slight, if not subtle, differences in between each day. Overall, you look at the 24 hours, you look at the inside of the egg, it's a little bit more lighter than compared to the 72 hours. But if you look at the 48 hours, you can see a more darkish tint to the egg. And that, I believe, is more towards the way how the eggs were cracked. So cracking the egg does play an important, significant difference in between the darkening of the egg. Overall, I do believe that the 72 hours is a lot more darker towards the interior of the egg than compared to the 24 hours. So alright, let's go ahead and let's give them a good taste. Let's start with the 24 hours to give a base point. The flavor is there. It's really good. Alright, let's try the 72 hours. I do have to say after 72 hours that the flavor in the tea egg is like a slight kick notch higher than the 24 hours. Let's try the 48 hours. I do have to say that after the 48 hours tea egg, the flavor is almost comparable to the 72 hours, if not stronger. And it might have to be due to the way how the egg was cracked and how the tea infusion permeated through the egg. So I do have to say, marinating the eggs for a longer period of time, especially beyond the first 24 hours, does make a significant difference. So alright, that's all I have for today. I hope you really do try this recipe. It's a really easy, especially using the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot makes a huge difference in terms of the after process peeling. And it's quite simple, especially for those people who fumble boiling a simple egg. And the Instant Pot just easily makes that whole process of calculating how much time of cooking and boiling these eggs a simple process. So alright, that's all I have for today. If you found this video interesting and informative, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos and content from me, hit the subscribe buttons. If you have any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, leave in the section below. Until next time, happy cooking and peace out.